Hello and welcome to my studio again. My name is Blanca with Furniture with Imagination. Today we're going to convert this beautiful tiger oak dresser and we're going to do what is called a black wash. Black washes are very much in trend these days, so we're going to be using this one-step paint on black, and to protect it we're going to be using a custom wax with Mind Your Own Beeswax. We're also going to be putting a little bit of copper on the details, like the handles and like the carved area here. So we're going to be using this copper mica powder. But before we start the project, we're going to be cleaning fully and thoroughly the piece with clean slate. Remember, this is a vital step to do anything with any piece for your finish to be absolutely beautiful and lasting. Okay, so I already did the part of cleaning, so we're going to get going with our black wash. Remember to put on the comments down below where you're watching from. We always enjoy seeing from where our viewers are watching. And please put your comments or your questions and I'll get back and answer all your questions. And tag the friends for your name to be drawn. And we're going to be giving out today a can of one-step paint. Okay, so let's get going. All right, so we're ready for our first step after we clean that piece, and is we're going to be doing the black wash with a one-step paint. So I open the can, and don't forget to always stir your paint for all those pigments that settle at the bottom to be available at the top where you're gonna actually take your paint from. So give it a good stir, and what we're going to be doing, just to explain a little bit, is we're gonna take a brush with paint and we're gonna actually just extend the paint. We're not gonna do a thick coat of paint, and then from there we're going to be just removing a little bit the paint in different areas so the grain is going to actually be shown. Okay, so yeah, and we're going to be doing our own design on how we want the grain to show. It's very, very simple to do, so let's get going.
Alright, we're starting our application of one-step paint. And we're going to be doing this step in different parts. Number one, we're going to be taking this dresser by sections. We're going to be doing each drawer and completing the cycle in one drawer and then move on to the next one, because otherwise the paint is going to dry on us and we're not going to have time to do the whole technique. How it works is that you take your brush and you saturate it with paint, and then you actually start painting. But if you see how I'm painting, is I am actually stretching the paint, and this is not a thick coat of paint. Once I stretch it and it looks a little bit translucent, I take a dry lint-free rag and I start removing a little bit of paint from different areas or sections. So it gives the appearance that the paint is kind of like chipping off, not chipping off, but like being thinner in some areas than others. And once you finish with one drawer or one section, you move on to the next one once you're satisfied with your effect that you wanted to create on that drawer. So as you can see, the paint is not thick. I am taking my brush and stretching that paint throughout the drawer. I'm not doing it in small sections, but instead taking the entire drawer and stretching that paint throughout the entire drawer. I'm not using water for this wash, even though it's called a black wash. I'm not using water. I'm just using paint, and the trick is on stretching your paint and making it like a thin coat. Once you apply your paint, you take again your lint-free rag and you start removing little bits of paint. Now, this is the beauty of it, is that not every drawer or every part of the piece is going to be looking the same. Some of them are going to have more paint than others, and some areas more than others. And this taking off the paint with a rag is just going to give the it's going to actually help you. It's like a tool to help you to remove that paint. Now I put a little bit of mist on my brush just because, to help the paint not and the brush not to dry, because sometimes, once you're painting with your brush, the brush starts to get a little bit hard to manage. So you can mist your brush, but do not mist the paint on the dresser. So here's the next drawer, and we're stretching that paint. I'm being careful of doing it section by section so it's not too complicated. Look at that beautiful tiger oak. I really would like that part to be shown. And, with that thin paint is actually looking really beautiful in this area. So some parts darker than others. Yeah, that's how you go area by area. I'm misting again my brush so it's easy to apply the paint. And yeah, that's all there is to this technique. It's very simple. And then you can design each drawer. And actually, this oak dresser is the perfect piece to do this technique on because it has some beautiful grain, and also the finish is in perfect condition. It doesn't have any scratches, and the um, the finish is in perfect condition. It just has gotten darker with age, but it's perfect. Now you cannot do this also on a piece that has scratches or the finish is in bad condition. You would have to actually fix it, repaint it, and refinish it again if you attempt to do this. But this is the perfect piece for that, and I'm definitely love how it's coming out. Remember stretching the paint and then removing it with your rack. So that's what we're going to be doing throughout the entire piece, and then we're going to let it dry for about 30 minutes. Very, very simple and easy to design. There you go.
All right, so that's our piece dry now. And as you can see, it's not a solid black, but it just looks interesting. There you go. Really nice. So we're ready for our wax now.
The wax we're going to be using is Vintage Good Mind Your Own Beeswax, and I put it in a little saucer to start the application on the piece. We are going to start the application of Mind Your Own Beeswax to the piece, and we're going to be doing it in sections. The front part is going to be the first one. I usually apply the wax with a bristle brush. I love the distribution of the wax with this little brush because it's very evenly throughout the piece, and you make sure that gets saturated everywhere. And because of the bristles, it really penetrates instead of putting it with a rag. So I definitely recommend you do it with a little brush. So we're just doing it by sections, as I was saying, and just make sure that you don't miss any areas. It goes very lightly and simple. Don't overdo it. Don't put too much. The reason why I chose to protect the piece with the Mind Your Own Beeswax is because dark is such a delicate color, and I wanted to make sure that it didn't look dry. So the wax is just going to give a beautiful sheen. It's not going to make it shiny, but it's going to give a beautiful sheen to this dark wood. And plus, it's going to hydrate the wood and the paint. So once you have your first area completed, then you can actually take the excess off, and we're going to be using some paper towels for that. You can also use a lint-free rag, and you just do it very gently. Very gently remove the excess. We didn't put a lot of wax, so it should be easy to remove it. At this point, we are not buffing. Remember that if you want your piece more shinier, then you can buff it. But you can wait 30 minutes after the application and taking off the wax. But I don't want it too shiny, so I'm just going to leave it like that. I'm not even gonna buff. Just gonna take the excess off and we're gonna let it dry. This cures in about 30 days to get it fully hardened and be very protective of the piece. So we're gonna continue doing that throughout the entire piece to complete our waxing.
Okay, good. We're almost done. I just put back the handles that the piece had originally. These are vintage handles, and I want to preserve them with the piece. I think they go really well with it. And what I did is they had a little, discolored, and they were kind of like goldish. But I decided to do a custom wax. I don't know if you can see the color here. It's copper color, and I did the wax with Mind Your Own Beeswax and mica powder on copper. So I rubbed the handles with the custom wax, and the color came out really cute. So whenever you want to do that, rub them and then let it dry for about 24 hours. So we did that, and I think the color is just really nice. And the last thing I would like to do is actually I like to apply the wax in very conspicuous places. So I'm gonna be doing that with a little ice brush, and take a little bit of wax, not too much. This is like a dry brushing, and then just apply the wax. And I just wanted to do it around this area, not everywhere. You can even do it with your own fingers. Sometimes I feel that the fingers are better, and it's just gonna give it a little bit of a copper tone that I think is gonna look really great with the black. And the wood grain. So there you go. I also wanted to give it a little bit here on the key thingy. And there you go. We're gonna let it dry, and we're ready to stage your piece. All right, so here is our final dresser. I hope you liked it. I really enjoy doing this dresser with one step paint. I love how it's actually showing the grain and it's not a solid color. And we only have to do a coat. You don't have to do more than that. It's looking really nice. It got a really nice sheen. However, if you like it more shiny, you can buff it even more. Remember, the longer you wait to buff, the better. So yeah, it's to your taste. The copper tones came out really cute. I wish you could actually see. I don't know if we can do a close-up of that. But it looks really nice. It gave it different tones and colors, and it's actually looking really nice. And this stain was in perfect condition. It didn't have any scratches. It didn't have anything, so it's perfect for this type of finish. The copper handles came out to be really cute, and we just decorated it with some roses. Okay, so I'm happy with how it came out, and I hope you also enjoy this very simple finish. So remember to tag 3 friends for our drawing. Today we're going to be giving away a can of One Step Paint, and yeah, share with other friends, and I hope you like it. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up, and I hope I can see you in any other further videos.